Hello, friends. Hello and welcome. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and welcome to my craft corner. This is the January 2023 online card class with the Country Bouquet stamp set. We'll look at that in just a minute. And yeah, I'm excited for these cards. So, welcome to all of you who are watching me live. It looks like we got Australia showing up. Adelaide, what is SA? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I think I know things. Oh, Elaine, you're in Australia too. All right. So we got peoples in Australia, a couple people in Australia. So welcome. If you are here and watch me live, let me know that you are here and watching. If you have registered for tonight's card class, you have and you registered for the card kit. You should have already received that yesterday or maybe Saturday. Should have already shown up. So South Australia. All right. Oh my goodness. Southern Arizona. Yes. All right. And then Kathy and Tracy, hello. If you register for the card class, you would have already received the tutorial by email. Okay. I was having all sorts of problems with my email yesterday. So if you didn't get it, please let me know. But you should have gotten an email with an attachment on it that was the tutorials for today's class. So let me know if you didn't get it. If you missed registration for this class, which is sad, you still get to watch us. And if you want those tutorials, you can pop over to my website and you can get those from my tutorial store now. So they're up and loaded for you. Hello, welcome, Kristen, and welcome everybody on Facebook and Kimberly. I'm so glad y'all are here. So, and welcome to those who are watching the replay too. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know that you watched the replay. All right, enough chit chat. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and turn my cameras around. Wrong one. And we're going to flip this around. There we go. All right, there are my stamps. Lena, you had your kit, but never thought to add about ink. Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. All right. Here is the Country Bouquet stamp set, which I think is absolutely adorable. It says, I love that we're friends, for you. I love you, with love. Happy Valentine's Day, and just wanted to say. So it's really, really great for Valentine's Day. It's great for making Valentine's Day cards for your friends or loved ones, your special someone, whatever. It's just a really great art set. So we're going to start with card number 1. If you have the card kit, go ahead. Don't read my note that said I need VSP. I cut that for myself. Don't worry. But you should have card number 1, and we're going to pull out the insides. Let's see what's in here. So we have a piece of this is the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. We have a couple pieces of white. We got a piece of Sweet Sorbet, a couple more pieces of Sweet Sorbet, some Country Gingham in there, your card base, which is Petal Pink, and then some more. Oh, I ended up with 2 Country Ginghams. Oops. And then another piece of the Country Floral Lane. All right, so let's start by putting some of these pieces together. I'm going to sneeze just to get them out of our way. So I'm going to start with my, excuse me, I am so sorry. All right, I'm going to start with the Country Gingham, and I'm going to adhere that to the piece of Sweet Sorbet that it fits. Funny how that works. It seems like it's a little bit dark. I'm going to back this up. See if I can get a little bit more light over here. Does it seem dark? Y'all let me know. Does my hand seem dark? Every time I go live, it's different camera things. So, all right. So there we go. Oh, thank you, Tracy. So I'm just going to adhere this, start by adhering this to the piece of Sweet Sorbet, and you'll notice that they match up, right? You can figure it out. You're waiting for Happy Mail. Okay. Oh, it's hard to wait for the postman, huh? It doesn't seem too dark to you. All right. Well, I'm glad. It looks really dark. Okay. So then we're going to take this piece of Petal Pink, Country Floral Lane, and we're going to go ahead and, oh, shoot. Sugar Jets. Oh. So if you if you registered for the card class, you would have gotten it in your email. If you didn't register for the card class, you can pop over to my website, onigostamping.com, and you can go to my tutorial store and you will find it there. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put that up there. There we go. So there's our second piece. And now I'm going to take this one, this other Country Floral Lane. Your stamps got there at 6. Oh, where is the green sheep? I don't think I have ever heard of where is the green sheep. Huh. Is that a newer one? All right, and then we're going to take this one. We're going to put this on the piece of Sweet Sorbet. So pretty. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put this right on our card front. You signed up for my emails, but you're not getting any. Carol, if you could send me an email, I can see what's going on. You might, it depends when you signed up. So I usually, if and how you signed up. So I send emails once a week on Saturdays. If you have signed up since Friday night, either on Facebook or another way that doesn't go directly to my email system, you wouldn't be on there yet. And then the other thing is, though, it might have gone to spam. So you might want to check your spam email, your spam folder. But you can send me an email and I can check my list and see if it's on there. Okay. But a lot of times it's been that it goes to spam, or depending on how you signed up, you might have gotten an email right at the beginning that you needed to approve it. And if you didn't approve it, then it wouldn't have gone through. But I will check. So if you can send me an email at stampinheidi@yahoo.com, you can send me an email and I will check my email list and see if you are on it. All right. So now I am tying this ribbon on here in a bow. And you should have a whole pack of ribbon. This is the real red and burlap ribbon. This is the real red, obviously. Sorry, I got sidetracked and I stopped telling you what I was doing. All right. So we're just tying this bow around that piece of Country Floral Lane that is petal pink. And we're just going to tie it so it's kind of like the long ways on there. And I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to just cut this. Now, you guys all know, if you've been around, you know I have a pair of snips for paper and a pair of snips for ribbon. And these are my ribbon snips. And I know that because they have ribbon on them. But I'm going to tell you something else. I was doing some fussy cutting this week. And I was using my paper snips. And it just felt like they were tearing the paper. And you know what? Let's be honest. The paper snips are nice scissors, right? Don't get me wrong. They are good scissors, but they're $10 scissors, right? They're not $100 scissors. They're not the type of scissors that you're going to take and get sharpened, probably. They are, they're just scissors. Eventually, they do need to get replaced, which is what I realized. I use them all the time for, what is it, 4 years? 3 years? 4 years? And so I finally decided I need to replace these, and I pulled out some new ones, and it was definitely making a difference. So if you feel like your paper snips are not cutting as well anymore and you've had them for a while, definitely recommend that. All right, so I just glued on this piece of petal pink. All right, this is the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper that I layered on the Sweet Sorbet, and I went ahead and I tied the bow on there, and then I adhered it to my card front. And now I'm taking the Country Gingham that has been layered up, and we're going to add that right in underneath the bow. So that bow is just loose on there. We're just going to go ahead. I'm going to lift it up a little bit just so I can slide that under. And we are just going to slide it in there. So just like that, make sure it's straight. This is why I like using the green glue, because I can kind of wiggle it a little bit. There we go. All right. Isn't this paper great, Heather? Oh, me too. I love it. All right. So there's our base. Let's actually do some stamping, shall we? Y'all, I am going to mute you for just a second because I need to quickly blow my nose. So y'all hang out, chit chat amongst yourselves. I will be back in half a second. I'm back. Super cute so far. Oh, good. I'm so glad. All right. So you should have two pieces of basic white in here. All right. Go ahead and just grab one of them. And we're just going to do some stamping. I'm going to start with some petal pink. All right. Start with some petal pink. And I am stamping this stamp right here. Now, what's really fun is you have both hearts on there. And we're going to punch them with our punch. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this right on here in the petal pink. And then I'm going to clean my stamp off on my really gross chamois. I was also thinking the other day, I should think about replacing the chamois pretty soon. You can kind of feel when the chamois get really old, they start to feel different. I don't really know how to explain that, but that's the best I can do. All right. And then I have some sweet sorbet. So I'm going to go ahead and just ink up that stamp in sweet sorbet. We're going to go ahead and stamp it right there. All right. So we got two on there. And then I want the sentiment. And I'm just going to stamp that over here. It does not matter where you stamp these things. These are all going to get cut out. All right. While I have my stamps out, though, I'm going to grab the inside of my card. And I'm just going to add some little hearts in the corner, just for a little, just for kind of like a little accent down there. Yes, Elaine, you can purchase the tutorial after the class. It's in my tutorial store. You need a chamois, you always forget to get one. I know. It's hard to remember. All right. I keep a sticky note on my desk where I write things that I need to purchase, little things like that. Because obviously, I'm not going to just put in an order for a chamois. That would be silly. That would be a waste of shipping because the shipping fee would still be like the minimum shipping. So I just keep a little sticky note that I put little things on. All right. So you could even put it like in your catalog or something. So now I'm just taking the punch and I'm just going to go ahead and line that up. I'm going to punch these out. It would make an excellent fishtail. It would. Oh no. No, I moved. I was looking at the camera and I totally moved. Let's stamp that one again, shall we? Silly me. I'm going to punch the other one, see if I can do that properly. I'm going to actually pay attention to what I'm doing, because what you do is you're going to put it in there and I just kind of hold it a little bit with my stamp and then punch it. Look at that. I can punch. All right. I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to restamp in the sweet sorbet because that was just too bad. That's not salvageable in my opinion. If it were a little off, I'd be like, yeah, we can just go with it. But that is beyond. Yes, like blades, chamois, basic white cardstock, all of those things, re-inkers. When I run out of linen thread, that goes on the list. All right. There's my next set of stamping. We can do this again. We'll slide this on. Now I'm going to hold it down halfway. And then when you get it in there, you're not like pushing it hard enough that it's going to make an indent, but you're pushing it hard enough that it's just going to hold your paper. And there's my stamps. There's my hearts. So much better. So, all right. I'm going to set my punch aside for just a minute. I'm going to go ahead while I'm sitting here and working on this. I'm just going to trim out my sentiment. So here's my sentiment. I am just using my paper snips. Now, if you wanted to just cut this straight, you totally could. I'm just going to come in here and I'm just doing a little fussy cutting, just leaving a tiny border. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody is going to look at it that closely. I promise you. I'm just going to cut that off. Sometimes when you're fussy cutting, it helps to cut away some of the extra It just gets it out of the way. All right. So we're just going to cut around. And cut around the eye. I'm going to go in just a little bit. So we're just doing a nice bubble cut. This is what you trained for. All those years in junior high where you were writing on your notebooks and making bubble letters around letters. This is what you were training for. It is Stampin _ Heidi. Sorry about that. Stampin _ Heidi at yahoo.com. All right. Let's come back. All right. For what we're going to do, I'm going to start laying these on here. So we're going to have the Sweet Sorbet one right there. We're going to come in with the petal pink one and put it down there. And then the other Sweet Sorbet one is going to go up here in the corner. The other little petal pink one, we're going to save that. We're going to use that on the next card. All right. So don't let that go anywhere. Put it aside. Save it. It won't be wasted. And let's go ahead and adhere these. This card has a lot of pieces, but it's really easy. It's a very simple card. That's why I like stamp sets that don't have to be colored in. They just, I don't know, they're just easier. All right, there's our first heart. And we'll add heart number 2. A little too much glue. And we'll pop this in down here. So cute. And it's just going to kind of go under the ribbon, go off the side. The only trick to this one is putting that ribbon on first so you can put stuff underneath it. There we go. And then we're going to put this on, this little heart, we're putting this on with dimensionals. I'm just going to pop a dimensional right in the center. I think it fits. And then this, it might be showing just a little bit. I'm just going to kind of smush it out of the way. And this one, I'm just going to stick up here. And then we're going to grab our sentiment. What do I do with my dimensionals? They like to run away on me. I don't know about you guys. Do your dimensionals take off, go on vacation, have a holiday without you? I'll put them back in my little caddy, then I can find them. All right, we're going to pop off the backs to those. And then this little sentiment is just going to go right up here. We're just going to let the bottom of it kind of hang over the ribbon just a little bit. You can kind of fluff the ribbon the way we want it. Now let's put the inside in. Take our piece of white. Let's add this to the inside. And we're going to do a little bit more blingy bling on there. Now, let me tell you, the last couple of weeks, for those of you who got the product share, all the product shares have gone out. So I've been working on product shares, a bunch of ordering for that. I have a retreat, an online retreat coming up in a couple weeks. So I'm working, I just did all the ordering for that last week, so I can start working on getting that all divvied up and boxed out. And I have made so many mistakes in ordering. It's not even been funny. Like, it's just been frustrating. And so I messed up. I didn't get the supplies ordered in time for this class. And so I had wanted to use other embellishments, but since I didn't have them, I just went to my stash and pulled out what I had. And so you all got some champagne rhinestones, which honestly, I love the champagne rhinestones. And so that's what I sent. Those are in your box for you. Nicole, your dimensionals are on permanent vacation. Oh no, you'll have to get another box. All right, let me see. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to put a bunch of dimensionals on here, I think. Let's see. Let's do this one. And I'm going to grab it. These are just a mess here. Hope I gave you guys the good ones, because these ones here are kind of falling off. They're falling off their stickies. Right, we're going to put this one up here. And I'm going to grab another little one and put it there. And I'm going to grab another one and put it down there. So there are our little rhinestones on there. So bling. Isn't that fun? Send somebody a card. Now, of course, you could change out the sentiment. You could put one of the more Valentine sentiments on there. It would work. And you just have the inside. Super cute, easy. Hopefully y'all like that. All right, I'm gonna put these away and I'm gonna pull out the supplies for card number 2. Do a little bit of cleanup here because it's chaos on my desk. All right, what am I looking for? We are looking for my chamois. You guys love it. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you love it. All right, let's clean up my stamps because we're gonna switch colors, and I totally knocked my camera. Go. All right. We're going to move on to card number 2, which is going to be a fun fold card. Love the fun folds. So take off my stickies, get my sample ready. All right. Card number 2. Let's see what's in here. All sorts of fun stuff. So you have another piece of the Country Floral Lane, another piece of the Country Gingham, 2 more pieces of white, 2 little strips of white, some mint macaron, and some petal pink. All right. All right. So there we go. We are going to start, not this way. We're going to start by doing some adhering. All right. So here is our mint macaron piece of the gingham, the Country Gingham. And I'm going to make sure this has a good crease in it. My bone folder is also gone on vacation. All right. And what we're going to do, so here's our petal pink. It's going to open on the right, right? We're going to take our little piece of Country Gingham. We are just going to open it up. We're going to put a little bit of adhesive on the small side on the pink. All right. So it's going right there. It's fun to see what I do with all the pieces. There's a lot of pieces in some of these. So we're just going to take this, we're going to slide this in, and we are just going to close our card up in there. All right. It's just going to go like that. There's our first step. And then we're going to take this. I hope I put that in the right place. I think I did. We're going to take this and we're going to adhere it to our mint macaron. All right. So put this over here. I'm going to pop on here. There we go. So much fun. And now I'm going to take this piece of the Country Floral Lane. That's really hard to say. That seems really long to me. But anyway, I'm going to take this piece of Country Floral Lane. I want to use the pink side. So we're going to put adhesive on the other side. Just putting some green glue on there. Green glue because of the bottle, not because of the glue that comes out. And this is going to go on that piece of mint macaron. Okay. Now this, we're going to go ahead and adhere to our card as well. Come on. There we go. And this is going to go, you're going to flip this up. This is going to go right here. Okay. So it's going to go under your little flap-de-doo. You like that I move right along? Oh, well, good. I am glad. Some days I do not feel prepared. So that just closes just like that. And now we can do some stamping. So I want to start, I think, we're going to start with one of the pieces of white. So once again, one of your pieces of basic white is for the inside, and one of your pieces of basic white is for the stamping. So I'm going to start with a piece of basic white for the stamping. Now for this, I'm going to pull out these big stamps. And you guys, I have lots of blocks. but because I barely use it, I only have one E-block. So we're gonna have to switch them out. I'm gonna start with the leaves, I think. I hope this is the right decision. Look, you can see all the things in here. You guys know I keep bonus prizes for myself in there. When I don't use a piece, I throw it in the case. Later, I find that way I actually use them. If I throw them in a bin by themselves, I don't use them. They just sit in the bin. So, all right. For this, we're going to use some mint macaron. All right, so we got some mint macaron here. We're going to stamp the leaves. So this is a 2-step stamp. You're going to make one heart, but you got 2 stamps to do it. So I'm going to start with this one in the mint. There we go. Very soft. Close that up. I'm going to grab my petal pink for my next stamping. And I'm going to clean off the stamp. Clean this off. Where I put my fingers on it. So I actually have to switch this out. Somebody just asked me, so when you get your clear stamps, they come sandwiched between 2 pieces of adhesive, of a clear sheet, right? So they come there's these both sheets. They come sandwiched between there. You're meant to take them off and put them on the back of your case. And you're meant to throw away the 2 pieces of plastic. But I find that I like to keep the heavier piece of plastic. I have the other one in here too, but I especially like to keep the heavier piece of plastic because I find it just helps keep my stamps. Sometimes they start to fall off, and if you have that other piece of plastic, it kind of keeps them on there. I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of keeps them better in the whole thing. I can't talk. It's a good tip to store the extras with the stamp set. I have really, really found it helpful. I used to just take all the extras and I'd throw them in a bin and be like, oh, I'm going to just open up this bin and I'm going to pull things out of it and use it. Yeah, I never did that. Whereas if I put it in the stamp case, when I pull out the stamps to use them, I go, oh, hey, look, I stamped this already in this color, or I punched it from this. And then I will use that. All right, so I'm looking over this. I have my hands really well anchored on my desk, all right? And I'm holding my stamp just a little bit above my paper, getting it all lined up, and then I'll go ahead and push it down. And we'll see if I got it good. Oh, not bad. It wasn't very evenly inked. That ink pad may need to be re-inked. But that's okay. Really pretty, huh? How do I store my dies for the stamps? Okay, can you see over here? I have this bin, and that's where all my dies are. I keep them in the folders that they come in. I know some people like to put them with their stamp sets. I don't. That's a perfectly fine way to keep them. But I found that I like to keep them on a magnetic sheet, and they would fall off the sheet when I opened the case and annoy me. And so I decided it wasn't the right way for me to store. So if it works for you, great. For me, I like them there. Plus, so many of the sets will have like labels and things. Like the dies will have labels or different dies that you could use with any stamps, right? So I like to have them out where I can actually get to them. It kind of helps me think about them a little bit more. I know some people who take their really basic dies, they take them completely out and they'll just store them, out where they can see them too, which I thought that's a pretty good idea too. All right, so I stamped one of those hearts in petal pink, and I stamped one of the hearts in mint macaron. All right, so we have the floral heart and then both of those. We're going to punch those out. We're going to do just a little bit more stamping. I have those 2 pieces of basic white, right? So I'm going to pull out the one that says just wanted to say, and I'm going to pull out the one that says Happy Valentine's. That's what I'm using. You want to use something different? You can do that. I do have to remember to open them the right way because. All right, so just wanted to say, and Happy Valentine's. And I'm going to get a couple of blocks, put those on there. Now, some people are very particular and they want to line up their stamps to get them on the blocks straight, which if you want to do that, I'm going to show you a tip for doing that. I don't really care, and I'll tell you why. I don't necessarily care after this, but if you want to do that, the grid paper is perfect. You can line up your stamp on the grid paper and then line up your block with the grid paper too. And that way you can get your stamp on there straight if you want to. Now, I said I was going to tell you why I don't necessarily worry about it. So I'm going to use basic gray on this. You could use black if you wanted to too. I decided to use basic gray because I found it was a little bit softer, right? We're using these really soft pastel colors. And so the basic gray was just a little bit softer and less harsh than if I used a black. So that's what I'm using. Now, I don't really care if my sentiments are real straight on here, because when I do this, I am not paying attention to the block at all. The only thing I am paying attention to is the stamp. So whether the stamp is straight on the block or crooked on the block, it doesn't matter, because I'm only looking at the stamp. And mostly I try to find the straight part of the stamp, which in this case is the bottom. And I try to line that up with my paper. We'll see, not too bad. And you can test it too if you want to. So if you have this, all right, if you have your stamp and you're like, oh, I want to see if this is straight. Well, see if you can line it up with a line on your grid paper and whether you get it straight. And that can sometimes help you too. You can be like, oh, I need to stamp it just a little bit and just kind of practice. It's a good way too. All right. So again, just going to stamp that on my other piece. So I got two little pieces here. Nicole, you're trialing keeping dies with stamp sets. That works too. Yep. Whichever works for you. Let me know if it works. All right. So for this, you can either pop out your paper cutter, your paper trimmer, and snip these down, or you can be like me and I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's up to you. And I'm just gonna trim those down so they're just kind of even on the sides. It really doesn't matter exactly how long they are. And this one, it's kind of sticking up. I'm just going to take my bone folder to it. That edge was a little poofy. All right, so we got our sentiments. Everything is stamped. Oh, we didn't stamp something for the inside. Let's stamp for the inside too, because you know we like to do that. I'm just going to stamp some hearts. So just a little something. You could do that on your envelope too if you wanted to. So if you have your envelope, you could pull out your envelope and we could take the stamp and we could just add some little hearts down in the corner of your envelope. So people know that somebody's getting a Valentine's Day card. You know, your postman wants to know that. All right, we're going to do our cutting over here. So first, I'm going to start by just punching out my hearts again. So again, just holding my punch upside down. I'm going to grip it just a little bit as I get it straight. And then punch it. There we go. And then we're going to do the same with the green one. We're just going to hold that down. Give that one a punch. And then sadly, that big heart, we're going to have to cut out ourselves. But y'all, hearts are pretty easy, right? So I'm just going to take my paper snips and just cut around this. How are you doing? Are any of you stamping right along with me? Are you making these cards with me if you have the card kit? I would love to know. I worry that I go too fast if you're trying to keep up, because I know it can be hard. It's hard to know how fast to tell you to go, or how, I don't want you to get bored because I'm going too slow, but I don't want you to get lost. All right. Give that a little trim. there is that heart. And now we have all of our pieces. So we can put this all together. So I'm going to open this up and go ahead and put this on the inside so I don't lose it. In this fun fold, I didn't set out to make this card a fun fold. I set out to just make it a regular card, but as I was making it, it just, oh no, it's good. It like spoke to me and it was like, it's got to be like a fold and not just a piece. So that's what I did. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to start. I just want to lay this on here and kind of see where it's going to go. It's going to go there. I'm not going to glue it yet because I want to just wait. All right. You don't have this stamp set. Oh, no. All right. Emma, you're going to stamp later. That's always a good plan. Kimberly, you're stamping on. Great. So I'm just going to lay this on here just so I can see kind of where it goes. All right. And then I'm actually going to open this up. I'm opening up my sample, making sure I know where I'm going. All right. And I'm going to lay these on here. So this little heart is going to go here. And then we're going to have our Happy Valentine's Day in there. And then this little green heart is going to go down here. So let's just close this. We're going to close that again. So I'm just laying everything out, giving it a try. And this will go on here. And I might want to move that green heart over just a little bit. We might want to move them both over just a little bit because they're kind of sticking out. So we'll go ahead and just do this. Okay. We'll just move that up a little bit maybe. There we go. That'll work. And so then that will go there and that will all cover up. So I just kind of lay them out there, see how it goes. There's still going to be a little bit of trial and error probably. We'll see. This is just a little bit tricky just to make sure, you're not ending up in the right place. So first of all, I'm going to start with this pink one. I'm going to kind of keep my fingers there. So we're going to put this right in here. And then like each time I do this, I'm just going to come in and where's that heart going to be? Okay, it's still going to work. We're good. Then we'll come in, we'll put the Valentine's Day on. And these, I'm not using any dimensionals on this because I didn't want any extra bulk under the card flap. So then this, I'm going to put this right in here. Lay that right. Okay, that's all going to cover. I'm going to watch to the sides, all that kind of stuff, right? All right, now here's this little green one. The little mint macaron one. You can go in here. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, yes, he is definitely under there. We moved this all up. We are good. We are good to go. And that green glue, you got a little bit of wiggle room. All right. So there we go. There's our sentiment underneath. And now we're going to go ahead and adhere our heart on the front. You need to go food shopping. That's fine. You go food shopping. You can come later and watch the rest. The replay will always be here. So I'm going to take this. Now, I know that it's going to be on there. I only want to put some adhesive in here. And what I do is I just lay it on this piece upside down so I can see how wide that is. And that's going to help me keep the glue where I want it and not get it all over the place. So then, and you can err on the side of caution, right? A little is going to work better than too much. All right, and hopefully, oh, we made it, good. All right, so that just covers up that right there. We got our nice heart. All right, and then y'all have a piece of twine in your little kits. Now you guys know, if you've been watching me, you know my favorite trick, which is to pull the twine apart. So I'm just going to pull a piece out of my twine. And have my twine. I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to tie this in a bow. And I love the twine because it's rough and fluffy. It looks country. It looks more country than the linen thread, I think. All right, and this is going to go right here. Our sentiment's going to go over top of it, so you just kind of want to get it in kind of the right spot. I'm going to use some mini glue dots for this. Oh my goodness, there's one way down here. It got forgotten. So just stick it on the mini glue dot and then pick it up. And then we're just going to adhere it right here. I'm actually going to put it just a little bit lower. Put it right there. I think that's going to be good. We didn't test it, but all right. So our sentiment is going to come right in here and just go over the edge of our little bow here. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. And this is going to be on dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my dimensionals, which are in their tote where they're supposed to be. And I'm just going to put these on here. I'm going to hopefully miss the part where the knot is. So I'm just going to check that. Awesome. Great. This card's almost done. Got just a couple more hearts because we got some more hearts sitting on your table. So, all right. So now it says, just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day. Super cute. All right. So let's come in and I'm going to put a couple more hearts on here. And I'm going to lay them out where I think I want them. Kind of based on this. There we go. And if you have the tutorials, you'll notice that they don't necessarily look exactly the same because they're not gonna end up in the same spot. Lisa, you're watching while you do the dishes. I'm glad it makes the chore go faster. Dishes is one of my least favorite chores. All right, so here's this little green heart. And we're gonna come up with him and just pop him right in here. There we go. All right, and then we're going to take one of our pink hearts. Now, don't forget, y'all should have an extra petal pink heart that you cut from the last card. So hopefully you didn't lose it because it's going to come back and be on this one. If you lost it, you can go make another one. All right, so this little petal pink heart's going there. And then this little petal pink heart is going to go over here. This ended up a lot higher than it did on my sample card, and now I don't know that I like that as much. Maybe it's going to go down here. See, we're going to switch things up. I'll show you my sample card when I get done. Let's see. Oh, I like it over there. Oh, yeah. So you can just play with the hearts, play around with them, see where you want them to go. I'll show you the sample, but I definitely changed the positions a little bit. All right. I'm going to put this one down here. So it looks like that when I open it, which is cute. And then y'all have some gold. What did I do? I'm out. You got some gilded gems. Now these are retired. You need a bow class. I think bows just take a lot of practice. These are retired, sadly. They were in the last mini catalog. But did I mention all those ordering errors I had? And I happen to have a couple extra packs of these. So this is what I decided to go with. But you could definitely use the pastel gems, or one of their has a gold in it, or there are some gold sequins as well. And either of those would work fabulously for this card. So definitely things you can substitute. All right. So if I can pick these up, these are big and heavy. I'm going to put one right here. And then I'm going to put a small one there. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I want to bring a small one in, I think, right here. See what it looks like. Not bad. All right. So there is our second card. Let me get this stuff out of the way. There's our second card. I'm going to trim up the my bow ends just a little bit. And I'll show you the sample too so you can see how I did it just a little bit differently. There's my sample card. And then here is, oops, here's my sample card. So this is the one I just made, and here's the sample. And you can see the hearts ended up in different spots. They just worked differently. So, you know, everything just, I guess this heart was down a little further. Both of the insides, like I did this whole sentiment down further. So either way, it works, whatever you want to do. But I just think that fold is so fun. And I love the fact that you see some of it and then you open it up and it's still, you know, got even more pretty stuff in there. So I am so glad you guys like this one. Yay! All right, that was card number 2. We're going to clean up our stuff, clean up our stamps, and then we're going to do card number 3. Card number 3 should go pretty quick. I think it's the easiest card. The fun folds always take a little bit longer, so they would make a perfect little gift set. You are right. All right. So just cleaning these off a little bit. Get my stamps cleaned up. All right. Let's look at the pieces for card number 3. So, there we go. So we have 3 little pieces of designer series paper. We have a piece of basic white. You have a piece of mint macaron that has been embossed with the pretty flowers embossing folder. You have a piece of crumb cake that has been cut with the stitched rectangle dies. You have some mossy meadow, and then the card base is mint macaron as well. So, oh, good. I'm glad that you were able to do some of it ahead of time, Mom. All right, so I'm going to start by adhering this piece of mint macaron to the front. We are just putting mint macaron on mint macaron. Sometimes when the full back has been embossed like this, I like to just leave a little bit of a border, because even though it's the same color, you can still kind of see that border. Plus, it's hard to emboss the actual card base. And even if you do emboss the card base, the embossing can make it a little bit flimsy. So how long does it take me to design a card? That depends. That is a very quick question. It really depends on the card. Sometimes I can design a card in like 20 minutes. I'll just be like, bam, done. Woo, that was great. Sometimes it will take me 2 hours to design a card. Sometimes I start working on it and then I give up and I leave and I come back the next day. So if I don't have that embossing folder, do you have a different suggestion? The gingham would be cute, I think. If you have the gingham, any of them, pretty much any of them would be super cute. But yeah, I would go with the gingham. That new chair cane one might be cute too. All right, so I'm inking up the Just Wanted to Say. And for some reason, my Mossy Meadow, and I've had multiple pads like this, so maybe your Mossy Meadow is like this too. It is never evenly inked. So I always move my stamp around. All right, so I'm just gonna stamp this in Mossy Meadow on the bottom that says Just Wanted to Say. And then I'm gonna grab the inside of my card and I'm gonna grab the stamp that says Happy Valentine's Day again. But once again, you can use the one that said, I'm glad we're friends, or I love you. All different things you could say. I'm going to just put Happy Valentine's Day because I have the stamp out. So that can just go right on there. Put my Mossy Meadow away. All right. And now I'm going to do a little bit of embellishment on this piece of Mossy Meadow. So y'all have, let me see if I still have a piece. No, okay. Didn't know if I needed to open a new piece, what I'm doing here. All right. So y'all have some of the burlap, right? So you have the real red and burlap ribbon. And for this card, we're going to use the burlap ribbon. So I'm going to go ahead and just snip that open. You don't have to snip yours open. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to take a piece. I'm going to lay this across here. And I'm just going to cut it a little bit wider than my piece of mossy meadow. Okay. So we're just going to put that like that. Put that aside. And then I want to take this and I'm going to actually tape it on here. So we're just going to lay it on there. I'm going to flip it over to the back. And then I'm going to grab some Scotch tape. I always keep Scotch tape on my desk. Come here. I'm going to take some tape and I'm just going to tape that. Now, if you want to stop right there because you do not want to tie bows, you definitely can stop right there. I am going to grab another piece of the twine from my twine, right? So you have the twine that you pulled apart. Go ahead and pull another piece out of it. And I'm going to thread this in under my burlap ribbon. And this piece was really long. And I'm just going to tie this in a bow on the front. So I'll try to walk you through bow tying a little bit. The only tricks I know. All right, so you're going to go ahead and just do your first knot, whatever that is called. I do not know the names for things as far as knots, and I cannot tie knots to save my life. But what you want to do is when you are at this point, you want to look at your strings, and I will show you what I mean. So right here, you will notice that this string is kind of coming out towards the bottom, okay? And this string is kind of coming out towards the top. When you go to tie your bow, you want to keep going in the direction that it is going. So this one is going towards the bottom. If I tie it this way, I want to start from the bottom and go over. All right. If I were left-handed and I were doing it the other way, or if you ended up with it, I don't know how to tie it to make it do it. This is why I can't teach about bow tying, because I can't make it do the first step how I want. But if you were doing it the other way, you would look at this top string and it's coming out the top. So I would take that and go around the top. And if you do that, that will help you make your bow straighter. That is my only suggestion for right now. So I'm just going to tie that, pull that tight. I'm going to make a loop. Now I'm coming around the bottom because that string was going towards the bottom. And then I'm just going to pull that. Give it a good tug. Now I hold the center while I pull down the sides, which doesn't feel always very good on my fingers. And then just give it a tug a little bit more and kind of tug it in the direction you want it to go. You got to tell that twine who is boss. All right, so there's our little bow on there. Oh, good. I hope that helps you. People always ask me, how do I tie a bow? And I'm like, I don't know, you just tie it. I was not helpful with my children when they were little and trying to, learn to tie their shoelaces. I'm like, oh, I'll just tie it. All right, so we're going to adhere the mossy meadow right on the front. So cute. This is just going to go right over here. And I'm just going to hold it for a second. I'm going to take a sip of my water. My tip worked. Oh, yay, good. All right. And just hold this down. Give it good stick. There we go. And then I'm going to take my crumb cake layer. We're going to adhere that down too. And this is going to go up here. And I'm just going to try to get the border even on the top and the side. And then it, hangs off the edge. So we're going to hold that for a second. Sometimes you got to hold it down a little bit because you got so many bumps. If you hold it down for just a minute, give that glue time to start adhering, then it will stay down a little better. All right, or not. Okay, now I have my 3 pieces. I'm going to punch these. And of course, it's too small, but luckily I have some sticky notes. So hopefully you have some sticky notes too. I'm going to grab my sticky notes. I'm going to put a sticky note on the edge here. And then I'm going to use that to hold on while I punch my heart. There's a green heart. Do that again with some more pink and white hearts. I'm gonna get a big one of those. There we go. There's that one. So two different ones. And then this green, I actually want to get a little heart. So we'll put this on here. And this is going to go in here at the bottom. I'm going to give it a punch. Here's one. You know what I think I'm going to do one for the inside too. So I got a big enough piece here. I don't know if I sent you a big enough piece, but I got enough big enough piece. I'm just going to come in here and let's make another one. Pop that on the inside. Why not? All right. I got little pieces all over the place here. So now let's adhere these. So these are going to kind of go here again, laying it out how I want it. I'm going to start, with the, lay those where I want it. I'm going to start with the darker green one because this dark green one is going to be on dimensionals. And I'm just going to keep the dimensionals away from that top edge. I'm just going to put them down here. And that way I can slide the white heart underneath. I want to move one too. A lot of times when I have some pieces on dimensionals and some pieces not, I actually put the dimensional piece on first because then it's a little bit easier. I can leave the other one, kind of laying on there, and then I can always glue it by sliding it in. So there's our green one. Maybe it's down just a little bit too far. I'm going to pull it up. All right, there we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue the white one on flat, the white and pink one. Come here. All right. This one's going to go up here. So just slide it in underneath, give it a stick, and then we're going to put the green one at the top. Our little baby heart. Come on. And I'm just going to go up here. And we'll go ahead and put this little heart. Where do we want it? Do we want to go up here? Here? Oh, yeah, underneath. What do you think? Underneath? I'm thinking underneath. Have I lost you all? I think it's getting late. The card classes go late, don't they? Not used to being live with you for quite this long. So thank you for hanging out with me. All right. Here this goes. I'm just going to put this, I think, right here. That's kind of fun. Oops. It slid. Come on. There we go. And then we'll put this on the inside. And this card will be almost done. We're going to add some of those champagne rhinestones to it too, though, because who doesn't love a little bit of champagne rhinestones? I love the champagne rhinestones. They're so pretty. So here's the inside of our card. Just like that. And then let me find my rhinestones again. I'm going to add these to the front. Who doesn't like rhinestones? And of course, when I say rhinestone that many times, I start singing, like a rhinestone cowboy. Not that I can sing. Sorry about that. I apologize. But that's what happens. It's getting late. All right. I'm going to put one down here too. There we go. Oh, so much fun. All right. So there is card number 3. Oh, you like it. I'm so glad. Isn't that fun? So fun. All right. Let me pull in and find all 3 cards. I kind of like set them all over here. All right. So here are our 3 cards from tonight's class. I hope that you enjoyed them. Like I said, if you want all the measurements and stuff, you can definitely pop over to my website and hit up my tutorial store. Yeah, there we go. head over to my tutorial store and you can grab the tutorial for this card class. And I hope that you will register, you'll pre-register for our next card class, which is coming up February 28th. We are going to be using the Petal Park stamp set. So February is going to be the Petal Park stamp set. March is going to be the Way to Grow stamp set. And then I think April is going to be the Greatest Journey stamp set. So those are all coming up. Registration's open for the February class. You can pop over to my website. You can register over there. And I will see you guys all back on Thursday night. We're going to be making some more Valentines. And this time we're going to be using, what is it called? It's the cat one, the Love Cats. I'm using the Love Cat set because I had to get it because it had kitties on it. So we're going to be using this on Thursday. And I have lots of great tips to share with you for this stamp set too. So I hope you all had a great evening. Oh, I'm so glad you drink like the cards. Oh, and Teresa, you're adding the heart punch to your wish list. Definitely. It is so useful. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I will see you all on Thursday night and have a great evening.